All right, come a little closer for this one. Not physically, that'd be weird, but mentally. Lean in. This story is about a missing person case. There was a guy named Daniel who lived alone in a quiet apartment complex. Normal job, normal routine. The kind of guy who waved at neighbors but never really stopped to talk. Not because he had anything to hide, but because he just preferred keeping to himself. See, Daniel was always a quiet guy. He didn't have some type of phobia towards people, neither was he a hermit either. But one thing, he was a man of routine. Yeah, him and his routine was inseparable. Every night at 11:30 p.m., without fail, he would take his trash out to the dumpster behind the building. Rain, cold, didn't matter. 11:30. One small grocery bag, in and out. One night, as usual, Daniel checks the time. 11:28. He jumps up from the sofa, his kitchen practically right next to him. At this point, he'd been staring at the TV screen for over 2 hours straight, so much so that he can't see but a thing in the dark. Nevertheless, muscle memory takes him straight to the bag. Neat little knot, as per routine, and with his front door a few paces behind him, he marches on over. He contemplates hitting the hay straight after tossing the trash into the dumpster. After all, a little rest won't hurt. He barely finishes his thought when he notices something that sends immediate chills down his back. His front door is slightly open. Not wide, not kicked in, but it's open. Barely an inch separating the door and the frame. Now here's the thing. Daniel was obsessive about locking his door. It's to be expected from someone who follows routine day in and day out to a T, and he knew this all too well. At this point, he's completely frozen. He knows this wasn't his doing. He stands there in his apartment, staring at that thin black line between the door and the frame. The realization slowly sets in. Someone is in here. With me. The silence in his apartment is deafening. He decides to close the door, locks it with conviction, and switches on the light. Flash! Daniel grunts. He quickly scans the apartment. TV, sofa, kitchen. Dark, empty, ominous hallway leading straight to his room. Yet nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Man, I must be lacking some serious sleep. As fast as his relief came over him, it's yanked away in an instant. Not loud, not obvious, but he notices breathing. Very soft, very slow, coming from somewhere inside the apartment. Daniel freezes once more, the chill hellishly cold. The breathing doesn't stop. It doesn't get louder. It doesn't hide. It just continues. Steady, calm, like he's being observed. He slowly reaches for his phone, but it's not in his pocket. He left it on the kitchen counter. Daniel backs toward the door without taking his eyes off the dark hallway leading to his bedroom. And then, from that darkness, a voice. Calm, whispery voice, and deeply deranged, directed straight at him, says, "You forgot to lock it this time." Daniel doesn't wait for a second. He yanks the door open and runs. Doesn't grab his keys, doesn't grab his phone, just runs down the stairs and out into the parking lot barefoot. Neighbors later say they saw him pounding on doors, trying to explain, but the words weren't coming out right. Police searched the apartment that night. No sign of forced entry, no sign of anyone hiding, nothing stolen, nothing moved. Except for one thing. On Daniel's kitchen counter next to his phone was a spare copy of his apartment key. Here's the part that really gets him. The landlord confirmed Daniel only ever received one spare key when he moved in, and he still had it. On top of that, no fingerprints on the door or the copy of his apartment key. After that night, Daniel didn't go back to the apartment. He broke his lease, moved across town, new building, new locks, new everything. And for a few months, nothing happened. Until one night, months later, at exactly 11:30 p.m., he heard a soft knock at his new door. 3 slow taps. He didn't move, didn't breathe, just listened. As the door slowly creaked open, inch by inch, Daniel stared on in absolute horror. And from the other side, very calm, very patient, a voice said, "Danny boy, the first was free, but this one comes with a price." Daniel disappeared. No signs of struggle, no packed bags, just gone. And to this day, the only sign of Daniel's existence is his trash bag, patiently waiting to be thrown away. If you live alone and you have a routine, maybe switch it up every now and then. Lock your doors. Check them twice. And if you ever hear breathing in your apartment when you know you're alone, don't go looking for it. All right, that's enough for tonight. Stay safe out there. I'll catch you in the next one.